Hello and welcome to City Beat. I'm your host Greg from the Lewiston City Library. Joining me today is Brandon Beeg Johnson from Parks and Recreation. Beeg, pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me again, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're my go-to guy. I love having you on the show.
Well, I'm familiar with the format, so
Absolutely.
it works out.
It does, very well. So really, I just have one big question on my mind, Beeg. Let's talk a little bit today about some capital improvements that Parks and Recreation is working on in the short future, not real long term yet. Let's start with the near future.
Yeah, so the last time I was on, I talked about dog park in North Lewiston and pickleball. So I just wanted to update viewers on both of those and then continue the conversation about community park up in the orchards and then some potential capital improvements within our system, in the next potentially year or two, things that we want to improve and work on as far as the department goes. So as far as dog park goes, the last time I was here, I talked about our fence bid came in from Carpenter Fence. They were awarded that bid. Also, what I've just done the last few weeks is a big part of that whole project is because it's Corps of Engineer property, I had to fill out a real estate application, which was 14 or 15 questions, and send that to Walla Walla, the Walla Walla Corps office, which is the regional office for here. They review it. They go through the entire application. Then that takes them about a month. Then it goes within their staff, they all review it, and then from there they send it to Washington, D.C. So we're looking at a 4 to 6 month wait, so we get approval back. In the meantime, things that we can do are continuing to look at the development within that park as far as where everything's actually going to go, where pathways are going to go, where benches are going to go, difference between phase 1 project and phase 2 project. Another huge thing that we got information about was from 3rd Avenue North down to the dog park, we're going to have an ADA accessible ramp. And so our city engineers have estimated that will cost about $31,000. Which is a big chunk of change. And there are some variables in there, like using asphalt rather than concrete, depending on costs. Obviously, oil prices are low right now. They're starting to gain some steam a little bit, but that'll depend on costs as far as asphalting. The other thing that we've looked at department-wide is we also have three projects that we want to do this summer. Dog park, sunset curbing, sidewalk, and an additional parking area at Sunset Park, and finish our paving at Community Park. So right now we have 3/4 of the pathway done. It's not completely done around the entire park. And so we've talked as staff to potentially do one big project rather than do 3 small projects because they're all similar. If we use asphalt, we're asphalting pathway at Community Park. We are going to asphalt a parking area at Sunset Park, and then potentially asphalting the ramp from 3rd Avenue North down to the park. So those are further discussions. Hopefully we'll save some money by doing that because if we bid that out to one company, that they'll have all that equipment already, they'll have all the asphalt mixed, and they can pour and lay it out. So in total, we're still looking at anywhere between $60,000 and $70,000 to finish the dog park project as soon as we get that approval back from. So it's a lot of hurry up and wait as far as that project goes. I have a really, really great core of committee members for the dog park, and so they're fantastic. They give me great feedback. We just met to talk about different options. One of our committee members donated $5,000, and so we'll continue to hopefully raise some funds. So if viewers out there want to get involved in the dog park, just contact me at Parks and Rec, 746-2313, or email me, bjohnson@cityoflewiston.org, and we can chat. Which is a great segue. And then we're looking at signage potentially when we get the fence up to sell signage, in the process of creating a signage policy. So we're consistent with each user group. And the segue would be the pickleballers are looking at, selling signage for the fence at Sunset. Because as I had mentioned last time I was here, we are going to move forward with and I'm getting bids in right now for the pickleball conversion at Sunset Park. So the 2 tennis courts into 6 pickleball courts. The pickleball group here, the Terminators, they're continuing, even in the winter months, continuing to get more participants. They are currently playing inside at LCSC Tennis Center in the winter. And obviously the weather's been pretty nice. So sooner than later, they'll be back outside playing, and hopefully as soon as we get all the bids back, I sent out 7 different companies that will start moving forward with pickleball conversion, and then we can host a tournament. It's the 50th anniversary of pickleball, so we'd really like to be able to be done with that project so we can host a grand opening tournament and get people involved with pickleball. And again, if you have questions about what pickleball is, it was invented in Seattle. It's 50 years old, believe it or not. I grew up in the Seattle area, and it was part of our high school PE curriculum, so I've been playing it for years. So it's basically tennis and ping pong and badminton. They had a baby. So it's a wiffle ball with a racket that's wood or some sort of composite on a tennis-style court that's smaller. Because that's a question I get all the time is, well, what is pickleball?
Absolutely.
What is that? It's a racket sport. It's tons of fun. It's a fast-paced game. If you want to see what it, just go on YouTube and just type in pickleball, and there's tons of matches. You can see what it's all about. The additional stuff about pickleball is, again, segues with bigger projects, potentially putting sidewalk around the court, because currently at Sunset there's no sidewalk. And so all these projects are kind of intertwining as far as potential, what we could do as a big scope, completing all that stuff. And our goal at Parks and Rec is always to have programming or have the ability for people to have a great quality of life. And that's our mission. Our mission is to provide those services, is to have those programs available so people in this valley can have fun and participate outside their work or participate in things outside their home and be a part of the larger community. So those things are really, really exciting for us that we're getting those done. If you asked me to do 2 projects in the same year, I probably would say no again. I'd just do one. It's a ton of work, but it's fun. I get to learn. I'm learning a ton as far as project development goes. And then the other huge project is Community Park, and we are continuing to get feedback from the public. We're really wanting direction from City Council as far as what that park's going to look like, whether we develop the whole thing all in one shot, we develop a section at a time, or we just focus on one field at a time. Because the big question is funding. Where are we going to get dollars to complete the whole project? Is it going to be, like I said, all done in a year or 2, or are we going to spread it out over 10 years, do a little bit at a time? So this next year, we'll know more as far as funding potential, whether it's internal city funds or it is grant funds, et cetera. Tim Barker, our Parks and Rec Director, is continuing to research and talk to other agencies that have developed a large park area like this. The other thing that he's looking at too is because we're adjacent to school district property, what other school districts / city entities have joined forces and built or developed a property like that together with public funds, and how that relationship worked. Did it not work? Did it work? And so he's doing tons of research, and talking to different communities and seeing how those processes played out. It's a long, drawn out process. We've owned community park property, so that 170 acres for 10 years now, and it takes a long time. We finally got that sewer line infrastructure in, so as soon as that went in, now we can start developing a little bit more. That was a huge part of the infrastructure to get any sort of movement, as far as other things we can develop. And our office is open. We want suggestions. We want citizens to ask questions, to suggest things that they'd like to see in that park, etc. That's what excites us, is that the process that is the community, and hence the community park thing, is that we want all of the community to have some sort of impact and input on what we're doing up in that 170 acres up in the orchards. So those are the big, those are the three big ones we're working on right now. We continue to look at different capital improvement projects. In the future, we'd really like to redevelop or re-engineer or redo Kiwanis Park bathroom / storage area. Potentially redo the shelter down there. We'd also like to remodel the community center. Currently, we have 11 entrances and exits in the building, and it's a lot of the time, especially at night, we don't necessarily know who is coming in and out of the building on the north side of the building, and so we lock that down at 1 o'clock, and there's some security things that we'd like to make it more functional for recreation specific activities. We have tons of rentals in there, which is awesome. But again, we're continuing to look at how do we make the facilities that we have more functional, more exciting, more appealing for people to come down, register for classes, participate in programming, etc. So those are the big ideas that we have, the things that we want to do. We're excited. We're excited about the change. We're excited about everything that is going on within the city, whether it's downtown infrastructure or what we're doing at Parks and Rec. So.
Well, it sounds like a lot going on.
Yeah, there is.
Those are some big projects too, and not easy undertakings.
No, and like I said, it's a process. It'll take some time, but we understand that's a part of the process, that it's not a snap of the finger and it gets done, and which sometimes is frustrating, not going to lie, but that's okay, because we want to make sure we're doing the right thing for our community. So,
and something that's going to be here for a long time.
Exactly.
Too. Not just we're going to make this happen right now, and then in 10 years we have to fix it because we're in a hurry. Well, that's great. Well, Beej, it's been a pleasure talking with you again today, as usual. Pleasure having you on the
Thanks,
show.
Man. Appreciate it.
We'll have to get you on here again sometime, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, on behalf of Beej, myself, and everyone else here, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time on City Beat.